Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Agata Farhan from class 12 MIPA 4, and today with this video I'm here to give a review regarding a 2021 film called Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong is a 2021 American monster movie directed by Adam Wingard. A sequel to Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters, it is the fourth film in the legendary Monsterverse trilogy and the fourth Godzilla film to be completely produced by a Hollywood studio. The film stars Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Terry Henry, Shun Oguri, Demian Bichir, Eiza Gonzalez, Julian Dennison, Lance Reddick, and Kyle Chandler. After 5 years since the battle between Ghidorah and Godzilla, humanity has begun to try and coexist with the Titans. But after Godzilla begins his own reign of terror, humanity must call on another legend to stop him, Kong. Not everything is as it seems when Monarch traveled to Skull Island, where a mysterious young girl known to communicate with Kong must warn him of the impending danger. As Godzilla rages across nations, destroying everything in his path, the fate of the world in the hands of these two legendary titans as both Kong and Godzilla battle for the right of king and to stop the real threat that faces them. Just like most monster films out there, this movie is really fun to watch. Despite being a CGI-reliant movie, this movie does not feel weird to watch at all. That's thanks to the animators for being able to bring a lot of realistic movements to the monsters. Just, like the walking, the running, and the emotions they convey. It feels really realistic. So that makes it really enjoyable to watch, especially the fight scenes where the monsters hit each other, they get flung to buildings, and it all feels, pretty real. And just, once again, pretty awesome. Another thing that makes this movie pretty different compared to the previous Monsterverse films is that the monsters in this movie has a lot more screen time than the previous ones. This is a good thing in my opinion because, despite being, like the previous movie called like Godzilla King of the Monsters or Kong Skull Island, you don't really see the monsters much. There are some scenes where you see them and they fight the other monsters appearing in that set movies, but you don't see them that often. Not in this film. In this film, you get to see the monsters a lot. In fact, they're actually really important. You can say that they are actually the main characters of this film, which you can't say from the previous ones. That's thanks to just a lot of, for some reason, random human dramas that happened in those previous films, which is I deem that unnecessary. But not in this film. In this film, the battle is between Godzilla and Kong, and another character that will appear later. But the focus here is on Godzilla and Kong, not the humans. The humans are there to bring the two together. In a sense, they're just a plot device, which is good. They're secondary characters. That's what they're meant to be in the first place. And yet, in the previous films, they are not like that. It's just, there's a lot of focus towards the humans, which thankfully in this movie, yet again, as I said, they don't follow. Which is, once again, a good thing. Because seriously, when you watch a monster film, you care about seeing the monsters interact, or just seeing the monster overall. You don't care about the humans. So this movie really did, nail the idea. But, of course, just like every movie out there, this movie still has flaws. Well, you can say a lot of flaws if you're now a monster film fan. The main problem with, these type of movies, like, monster films in general, not just this movie, is that because the monster focused theme, they don't really have much plot in them. Not every monster film follows this idea, but sadly this movie does that. The plot, while simple, is explained in just a really bad way. They did a really terrible job explaining certain things. Some things also tend to happen for no reason, or just gonna progress on the plot. Like, for example, one of the enemies that the two monsters are gonna fight, just, even though the monster is supposed to be dead, and even though there's evidence from the previous movies that the monster is supposed to be alive, the way they portray this monster in this film is kinda unexplainable. Because he just somehow is able to manipulate computers. Not exactly explained, just something that happens. Another thing is that when Kong's axe got breathed on from Godzilla's beam, for some reason is able to absorb the beam. And once again, there's just something we have to guess ourselves. Intentional or not, some people are going to question that. To say the least, to simplify it, this movie does a terrible job at explaining things. Overall, this is just an awesome movie, for monster film fans or just for people that want something fun to watch. The fight scenes and the build up to it, how the characters will interact with one another, all those things, the tension, is just really enjoyable if you don't think too much. Because as I said before, and this is also for a recommendation here, is that this movie is definitely not a good movie if you're the type that wants to be immersed by the plot, or just you tend to notice the little things. To say the least, this movie is not good for you because, as I said before, there's a lot of plot inconsistencies and things just kind of happen out of nowhere. So if you really pay attention to the plot and that sort, this movie is not for you because you'll just facepalm yourself or just not like it. Anyway, to summarize it, this movie is great if you just want to enjoy a movie. You just want to turn your brain off and just watch what's happening in front of you. But if you're the type that really cares for the plot and want to be immersed by it, or just really care and notice just little details, this movie is definitely not great. Definitely not. Anyway, in conclusion, I rate this movie 7 out of 10. That's really great for a monster film. I mean, I guess I can even rate it higher, but I think 7 out of 10 is good enough. So yeah, that concludes my movie review video. I'm sorry if this video is a bit awkward to some. I'm not exactly good at editing, nor I'm good at reviewing or just talking in general. So pardon me if this video isn't entertaining for most of you people. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching, and see you next time, if there's a next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.